Kathie J. Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Kathie J Show. How are you today? I'm Kathie J. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. So I got to send a big, huge thank you to everybody out there who's been staying connected with us on social media, who's been subscribing to our YouTube channel, Kathie J, and to everybody that's checking out the website, KathieJShow.com. Thank you. It's really cool to have all the interaction with you. So we also love those viewer emails. Keep sending them. All right, so today we're talking about a very serious topic, but it's one that we definitely have to address because if you're like me, I am so unfamiliar with this, but I keep hearing about it in the news. We're talking about fentanyl. So we're hearing it in the news all the time. It's one of the most common drugs involved in overdose deaths in the country, And all of us probably can't get the story of those parents crying for their kids that died in Adams County recently. So it's killing people in our communities at an alarming rate. Many of them are young people. So that's why we got the best today, y'all. We got Douglas County Sheriff Tony Spurlock here to come and join us. Thank you for being here, Sheriff Spurlock. So fentanyl. We're hearing it in the news all the time. What exactly is it?
So it is actually a pain drug that was created many, many years ago, but now it has been used and being used to lace opioids generally. Cocaine and other types of opioid drugs. And the black market, the drug market, is using it because it's incredibly cheap to lace with other drugs. And the real problem with that is that fentanyl is so incredibly dangerous.
And it's incredibly dangerous because it's so strong, right?
Right. This is one of the top tier pain relieving drugs that is almost always, was at one time used in surgeries.
So it's like a morphine.
Right. It's beyond that.
And what is this we're looking at right here?
So what you see right there is probably just a Blue 30 pill. That is usually an opioid pill that is laced with fentanyl. And usually you'll see they have them stamped with a little 30 number on them. Often they're darker blue. And that is what often people are buying on the street like that. That's what they're buying on the street right now. And DEA is telling us right now nationally that 1 in 3 of those pills is laced with a lethal amount of fentanyl that can kill you, because it just takes, if you imagine this, if you take a salt shaker and you take 1 grain of salt and you put it on a table, that amount can kill you. Fentanyl, that amount of fentanyl can kill you because the way that fentanyl is designed to, like when you have the patches for people with cancer and such. It's built into a time release. It's a very, very powerful pain drug, and it only takes a very small amount. Well, when you're taking fentanyl, raw fentanyl, and you're putting that in a pill, you know that the black market is not okay.
They're not doing it honestly. Nothing is honest. They're putting baby powder in there. They're putting whatever they can in there.
That's right, and that's why 1 in 3 pills are being tested that are showing having the lethal amount of fentanyl. And if you get that pill, you're the person at a party, and you take that pill, and you get tired, and for whatever reason you go over into the corner to lay down, and no one's paying attention to you. You later die from respiratory failure because what it does is it shuts down the central nervous system, it shuts down your respiratory system, and essentially you suffocate.
Wow, that's a lovely thought, but that's what's happening to people. That was a lot right there. So when we come back, we're going to go into it and break down some of everything that Sheriff Spurlock just said. We'll be back after the break. Kathie J. Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness. Kathie J. Welcome back to the Kathie J Show, everybody. Today we're talking about fentanyl and how lethal it has become to so many people in our communities. It is the single deadliest drug threat that the United States has ever encountered. And that's according to the DEA, everybody. We are lucky enough to have Douglas County Sheriff Tony Spurlock here. Yay! Thank you, Tony. You have been in service for 43 years. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome.
You've seen a lot over the years of drugs on the streets.
Yes.
Why are you guys so concerned about this fentanyl? Why are we hearing it so much?
Well, what's happening is that it's killing our citizens.
Yeah, but drugs in the past have always been things that killed citizens, right?
This is a drug that is killing everyone. And so often what happens is fentanyl users or drug users for this type of drugs, it's a regular person that is the recreational user.
Yes,
so
exactly.
it's the 35-year-old person who has a job that's making great money, who's got a career.
Yep.
Him and his wife have great jobs.
Yep. What are we doing this weekend?
What are we doing this weekend? And they decide to go to a party. They don't know what they're getting. They think, oh, I'm just going to get an opioid, or I'm going to do a line of coke.
Yeah.
Which I don't condone any of that. I'm just going to say that, but they're going to do this. And what they don't realize is that they just got the fentanyl-laced line that's going to kill one or both of them.
And okay, so let's back up really fast. So it is a prescription drug originally. But in Mexico and places, cartels have now designed the fentanyl with the deadly fentanyl to look like the prescription versions, correct?
Right. So what's happening is that drug is being manufactured in China, moved into Mexico where it's stamped into pills, and then moved into the United States for sale.
Okay, so it's not like if somebody got a bunch of prescriptions from their mom and that's what's happening. Okay.
No.
So fentanyl also, when it comes in a powder form, that's where they lace it into other things that like marijuana and stuff. Like even marijuana gets laced with fentanyl.
So obviously, people are creative and they try to find ways
they'll put anything.
That's right.
Yeah, huff
they
the
try
paint.
to try to find ways to break down the drug and then lace it with other drugs to give that drug a boost.
Okay.
I.e.,
or split up the drug to sell it to somebody else to support a habit.
So marijuana laced with fentanyl, incredibly dangerous because you're smoking it right into the lungs. Cocaine is being laced with it, and of course it's being stamped into other pills that are opioid type.
And like you said, it only takes a small amount. A small amount of this deadly fentanyl, everybody. Yeah. Okay, now you brought this. What is this picture? These are more blue 30s?
So these are just different types of pills that they're stamped in.
Okay.
You'll see them in that size. They look like Adderall, maybe. They'll look like one of those, or a Xanax.
Oh yeah, totally. That looks like any kind
30.
of. That even could look like an Aleve, if I wasn't paying attention.
Exactly, and that's one of the stamps that comes from Mexico, and so you'll see those. And what has happened in the past is they have these farming parties where people will bring their pills together. They put them in a bowl. And
I've seen that done.
Yes.
Okay, but now I think that the message out there is you guys don't understand that this deadly thing is actually out there. Like we've always heard it when you were partying and stuff, when you were at raves and stuff, you always heard it. But now the message is we're so serious on this. Like,
well,
it's
it is, because if everyone's partying, and sadly we had a case in Douglas County where a lot of people were partying. 2 people take the drug.
Yeah.
No one is paying attention to them. They're over on a couch laying down
and that's
over in
what
the corner.
happens. Oh, they look at them. They're just so high. Yeah, let's go over here and party.
Let's continue to party, and they die because no one's paying attention to them. They go into respiratory failure.
It's a pain medicine, so it literally puts you out of pain. So it shuts you right down.
Right, and it impacts your ability to function when you're sleeping.
Okay, so stay right there. I don't mean to interrupt you, Sheriff Spurlock. Okay, so because my producer will kill me, not you.
Okay.
When we come back, everybody, we want to know a little bit more about this and also what our state's doing to fight fentanyl. We'll be back. Kathie J. The Colorado Lottery is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. Colorado Lottery, play on. Kathie J. Welcome back to the Kathie J Show, everybody. So we are so blessed today to have Douglas County Sheriff. This is Tony Spurlock here. Yay! Thank you for being here, Sheriff Spurlock. I have to give a shout out to your wife, Stacy.
Oh, okay.
Yes. She wanted you to wear your medals and stuff, and I was like, you deserve it. You have done 43 years of service here, and you're a Colorado kid, and so it's just an honor to have you helping us all these years in our communities, looking out for us, and being our sheriff. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. So Governor Polis just did a bill reforming the law when it comes to how we deal with fentanyl here. So what is that bill exactly, right? It starts on July 1st. Police and prosecutors will be able to charge people with felonies for possessing more than a gram of fentanyl.
Right.
Okay.
So the bill is really designed specifically just for fentanyl, and it is designed for a variety of things, health mental health care for those, drug rehab care for those that are using it. But also there is some enforcement parts of that bill that allows law enforcement to focus just on the fentanyl bill itself.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
And you mean in how you treat and deal with the person coming in that's on fentanyl?
So so it is a possession bill, but also a distributor's bill as well.
Gotcha.
So if you are dispensing, distributing, manufacturing a certain amount, there's some penalties there. Also, if you're in possession, and that was one of the kind of the rubs with law enforcement with the bill, is that the possession is, the amount is pretty low.
Okay.
It's still a dangerous amount, but it's pretty low, which is at a misdemeanor level, and that kind of makes it complicated for doing ongoing criminal investigations to go after the distributor, the manufacturer,
right? Because
you want to go up the chain.
Exactly, not just the people that are doing recreational that you're having to arrest.
And that's
right. But I totally get that, and that's what we're talking about today is getting that fentanyl, that bad fentanyl, off the streets, everybody, because it's getting mixed in everything, and it is not good. Is it? Are you fine? I mean, what is it? It could be car battery stuff, right? I mean, what is it that's making this the death? Is it because mixed with the other fentanyl that's, okay, you mentioned this salt. One little grain could kill you.
That's right.
But the other little grains are the real fentanyl. So is that why it kills people, because like of how you die?
Well, no, because fentanyl is a pain reliever, and it impacts the central nervous system.
Okay.
And so it relaxes you and relieves pain. When you mix that with either cocaine or marijuana or any other kind of Adderall or any other kind of drug, Xanax, you drop, you mix it and drop a amount on that. It's the amount of fentanyl that gets you.
Gotcha.
Because 1 grain of salt, and that's for people to understand the amount.
It's such a good analogy.
Yes. When you start talking weights, it's difficult to put it in your mind, but 1 grain of salt, that amount is the kind of amount that you would get if you're in surgery, so you don't feel the pain when they're cutting into your body.
Wow.
If you're taking that 1 or 2 or 3 grains of that salt with an Adderall or a Xanax, you're gonna die.
Right. And you have said, like, it's so hard because you're having people that are dying from this or overdosing from it that are recreational users, people that, I mean, you're having to tell family members that had family members that weren't drug addicts or anything, that out of the blue, they died.
So you get a 17-year-old kid who is excited about graduating.
It's summertime. Yeah, let's hang out with our friends.
And they might smoke a little marijuana here and there. They're going to party. They go with the party. Hey, just go ahead and take it's a Xanax.
Sure, why not?
Take it.
All right, cool. Sure, whatever.
Takes the Xanax, goes off into a corner, and dies because no one's watching him, and he goes into respiratory failure and positional asphyxiation. He might be curled up in a corner, and here is a kid who is 17 years old who could make a difference in life. Life lost right there. We don't know it. This young man or young lady could have been the person that made the difference in the world to make it a greater place.
Absolutely.
That just lost because they took a pill that was laced with fentanyl because somebody else was interested in making money off of it. And or selling it to someone. So here you have a 17-year-old kid whose life is lost. And what happens often a lot, at least in Douglas County, we have 34, 35, 40-year-old business people making a good living, living in a nice environment, having great careers, going to a party and dying because they decide, well, I'll take this pill.
One night.
It's not going to hurt me. It's just one pill.
Right. What are the odds? I never do this.
It's 1 in 3. That's what I'm telling you the odds are.
Remember those
1 in
odds.
3.
1 in 3, everybody.
Right.
It's not one in your life. Like, I've never done this.
Right.
Obviously, my odds are going to be fine. That pill is 1 in 3.
Too incredibly
Those
dangerous.
odds are way too. I would not risk that. There's another way for me to hit a high. I'll figure out something else.
Right.
That's too much of a risk. Yeah. So felony possession charges. You were something about the bill. It only leads to jail and not prison. Why is that important?
So, part of that is because they made them misdemeanor charges.
So that's jail and not prison.
So that's jail time.
Okay, you're right.
And here's the issue with the bill. They didn't want to incarcerate drug users, people who were abusers, or people who have a drug abuse problem.
Right, because they need treatment.
Right, and I'll tell you right now, I run a jail, and the last place you want mentally ill folks or people who have drug addiction issues are in a jail, because we're not equipped to fix them.
You're not at all, and so many times that is what is in the jails.
That's right.
You know, the homeless people that have come in that have mental issues, the people that went crazy on road rage and have come in because of mental issues. Mental issues are, I think, what's in your jail.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so the bill focuses on not punishing those people that are using it, the users. The flip side to that, the problem with it that way is it's very, very difficult. We have to find, like you saw in the picture there, we have to find someone who's got 50 pills before we can go charge them with a felony or whatever the amount, the weight is. That's so much more work
on you guys, right?
Right. If I have the ability to leverage someone who has that smaller amount and find out where they got that drug.
That's how it works. We all see the crime shows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the reality. I'm not telling a secret
no,
here
you're
that not everyone
we
knows
all know
about.
That, Sheriff Spurlock.
And so the law didn't really give law enforcement a group, something to hang on to. The other thing it is just about fentanyl. So this law does not affect any other drug out there.
And that's where we're going to stop, and we're going to come back from a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Right.
Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better. Kathie J. Welcome back to the Kathie J Show, everybody. We have Sheriff Tony Spurlock here today. Douglas County Sheriff, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
So much good information that you're giving to us. Thank you. And thank you for bringing the pictures of what the pills look like so we can all be a little bit more vigilant in seeing them.
Sure.
So this is about teenagers that we really want to hit home with right now, everybody, because they're dying at a record rate from fentanyl overdoses. So what do you parents need to know about fentanyl dangers? How can you help protect your kids? Here we go. So first off, if someone is overdosing from fentanyl, what do they look like? You had said like their lips are blue, they could be dizzy. Like I would think that with any kind of overdose. What is fentanyl?
Yeah, they're probably going to be most lethargic.
Okay.
Very difficult to wake up, probably difficult to walk around, probably inability to walk around or even to sit up. So difficulty controlling their muscles.
Okay, because it's a pain pill that's now taking them. So even in that case, make sure they're sitting somewhere where they can definitely breathe and watch them. I mean, how do you know what it is? You don't know what they've taken, if it's alcohol.
Right. If you find somebody like that, you should really call 911.
I agree.
Because you don't want to lay them down, because if they roll over, they don't have the strength or the ability to roll off of a pillow and they could suffocate. If they're turned the wrong way, they can get positional asphyxiation where their lungs can't expand. And so if you're not going to call 911, you want to stay with them, you want to sit them up, you want to make sure that their head's up so they're not down like this so it doesn't collapse the esophagus.
So scary.
So yeah, and when you find someone like that, and unless you're a surgeon, you really should call 911.
Right, because obviously that's not normal.
It is not normal.
So Sheriff Spurlock, what about those strips that I hear about, the fentanyl strips that you can test? What do those do?
So they're supposed to test for fentanyl, and you wipe it on the drug that you have, a pill or whatever it is. And then it's supposed to change color, I think blue, or changes color. Okay. That says, yeah, it's got fentanyl in it. The problem with that is the failure rate is incredibly high.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, and just because the fentanyl, if you're rubbing the top of the pill, it might not have been contaminated, the top of the pill. Might be the center
inside
of the pill.
Or something. So don't trust them is what you're saying.
I would not trust them. Okay. Because it's not, if you're doing that, there should be a message in there. There's a clue. Right.
Okay. You're doing something right.
Don't take that pill.
You need to check yourself. Is probably what Sheriff Spurlock is saying. That's right. So we only have like a minute left. The show goes so fast. But for parents out there, what can you tell them about having to talk to their kids or looking for stuff?
Well, I would tell the parents, please talk to your children. If you see them, if they're taking any kind of pills or taking any kind of drug whatsoever, have that difficult conversation with them about staying alive, because yes, you can have a high, but the likelihood of taking a fentanyl laced pill of you dying is 1 in 3.
1 in 3.
So why would you want that? So I encourage parents to search your kids' rooms, look for things where they hide their pills.
Their cell phones.
Yeah, if they do, ask them where they got it. Have that conversation with them. Please don't take these pills because we have lost so many wonderful people.
Yes.
That are contributing members of our society because they made a mistake one time, took the fentanyl-laced drug, and died because there wasn't anyone there to take care of them. Now, I know that there's families that have Narcan and other kinds of things around. That's fine, but that is a risk as well. You've got to have the conversation with your children to be careful.
Have your conversation with the children. And Sheriff Tony Spurlock, thank you for being here. Thank you for your service. And enjoy that retirement, my friend.